Welcome back to the Actery Magic Channel. I'm Steve, the Actery. Today I'm going to do a little video about Grolnok and an alternate build that you can do that I think is kind of fun, kind of jank. Enter the jank zone. All right. Google Slides, thank you so much. Grolnok, the Omnivore. He's a 4-drop, right? Just did a video about the army of Grolnok, the froggies, as it were. So Grolnok is really cool. So he's a 4-drop, 3/3. He says whenever frog control attacks, mill 3 cards. When a permanent card is put into your graveyard from your library, exile it with a croak counter on it. You may play land cards and cast spells from among them, from the exiled croak zone, basically. Okay, and it doesn't matter if he leaves play and then comes back, they still have those croak counters on them as they're in exile. Okay, so next up, let's talk about it. I like Persistent Petitioners, and this is hilarious. So if you're familiar, Persistent Petitioners and Thrumming Stone kind of goes, not infinite, but it goes really, really deep into your deck. All right, so 1 blue, 1 generic, Human Advisor, 1/3 says pay a generic, tap. Target player puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. Yes, please. Tap 4 untapped advisors you control. Target player puts the top 12 cards of their library into their graveyard. That's a lot. Okay, a deck may have any number of cards named Persistent Petitioners. Heck yeah. Now, Thrumming Stone is a 5-drop legendary artifact. Spells you control have Ripple 4. So, whenever you play a spell, you may reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may play any revealed cards with the same name as the spell without paying their mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library. So we cast Persistent Petitioners. We look at the top 4 cards of our library. If another Persistent Petitioners is in there, we get to play it for free. Once Persistent Petitioners gets cast, we look at the next 4. Cast another one, next 4. Cast another one, next 4. All right, and so we're just going to go through our deck really, really quick and put a bunch of Petitioners in play. And then we're going to be able to tap them immediately and then start milling people to death. Okay, but you want to have at least a minimum of 25 Persistent Petitioners, if my math is right. I think that means that 1 in 4 cards is going to be a Persistent Petitioners. I think it's going to be better at 30 or 40. So somewhere in that zone is sweet. That way, if you even have 40 Persistent Petitioners in your deck, which is kind of absurd, then you're going to have at least another 25 cards in your build to go and do other stuff with. Okay, so Thrumming Stone is a great card, but let's go finding it. Well, I'm sorry, hold on. There's another part to this. Sage Rose Denizen is 1 green, 1 blue, 2 generic, 2/3 Velkin Wizard. Whenever another blue creature enters the battlefield on your control, target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. This means now that you're going to be basically shooting or milling people as these petitioners are coming into play. You're just going to be milling an opponent before they even before you get even 4 out. You're going to be able to start milling an opponent. You can finish them off with Persistent Petitioners, but it just really guarantees you're going to crush souls, and you're going to be able to hit 2 people at once. In essence, you're going to be able to do a lot more milling with Sage Rose Denizen. He's cool. Pause. Okay. I mentioned targeting other opponents. I also include that you can start targeting yourself with Grolnok in play and start milling your stuff into the graveyard so you can start drawing cards. Just thought I'd mention it. Back to the video. All right, let's go finding our Thrumming Stone. We got Adventurous Fair. You have to have 3 artifacts to pay for, sack it, and go and search your library for an artifact card, put it in play, or sorry, put it in your hand. Fabricate's another good one. It's to search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, and put it in your hand. Okay, cool. You need to do some good timing with this, because if they remove Thrumming Stone before you, like, from your hand or make you discard it, then you're really out. Just a warning. All right. Kuldolth the Forge Master and Tezzeret will both also put Thrumming Stone into play. They're really great, but you have to build around a Kuldolth the Forge Master and Adventurous Fair. That means you have to go super heavy on the artifact building. But it says tap, sack 3 artifacts, search your library for an artifact card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. And he's a 3/5 for 5. Tezzeret the Seeker, he comes in with 4 loyalty, and you have to plus him 1 up to 5 on the first turn, and then you'll negative X him to go get your Thrumming Stone for 5. Okay, so search your library for an artifact card, convert mana cost X or less, put it on the battlefield, and shuffle your library. Okay, cool. Next up, we also have War of Invention. If you're not familiar, this is an instant with Improvise for 3 blue and X. It says you may your artifacts can help you cast a spell. Each artifact you tap after you're done activating mana abilities pays for 1 generic. So if you have 5 artifacts and 3 blue mana, you tap the artifacts, tap the blue mana, and you can go search your library for Throwing Stone and put it into play. Yeah, it's really good. And then we also have Let's Go untapping our stuff. So Petitioners, it taps 4 advisors and then mills 12 cards, right? So Murkfiend Liege untaps your creatures, your blue creatures or green creatures during each other player's untap step. Fantastic. Oh, I'm going to mill you for 12. I'm going to mill you for 12. Next turn, untap those creatures. Mill you for 12, mill you for 12. Additionally, Quest for Renewal will do the same thing. Now, it says whenever a creature you control becomes tapped, you may put a quest counter on it. As long as there are 4 more quest counters on Quest for Renewal, untap all creatures you control during each other player's untap step. So your first activation with 4 Petitioners is going to turn Quest for Renewal on. Now every turn you're going to be able to mill people. Really cool. Now, if Throwing Stone gets removed, we go more the traumatized Grolnok route, and we just start casting stuff, casting a bunch of Petitioners. What's really funny is Herald's Horn will reduce their casting cost by 1, so making them 1 blue. It says whenever it enters battlefield, choose a creature type. You can choose human or advisor, and it will work for Persistent Petitioners, but it will also work really well if you want to go Maskwood Nexus or Arcane Adaptation. We talked about that in another video, and then make them all frogs. You could do that. And then it says beginning your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card of the chosen type, you may reveal it and put it in your hand. Vanquisher's Banner is another cool one. It's a 5-drop artifact. It enters the battlefield. Choose a creature type: frog, advisor, human. Creatures that you choose of the chosen type get +1/+1. Sweet. But whenever you cast a creature of the chosen type, draw a card. Anyway, I thought this was ridiculous. I thought it was fun. I think it's really cool being able to draw a bunch of cards, being able to play a bunch of Petitioners, a really cool deck to build around. And people are going to assume you're doing other stuff with Grolnok until you start going the Petitioners route, and they're not going to be prepared. Anyway, thank you so much for coming out. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow on the Activate Magic channel. Deuces! Button.